Bear Don Bears fans, it is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. The Chicago Bears have re-signed Allen Robinson for the year at least. But my question to you has nothing to do with that. My question to you today is, now that you've gotten that deal done, kudos to you. What's next? Let's talk about that starting now. And if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly, dang near daily. And we don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. Now, as I said, the Bears have re-signed A-Rob. Great move. Love to see it. Love to see A-Rob back in Chicago. Would have loved to see him. Honestly, to me, you could have gave him a deal for this much moving forward, but with the reduced cap, I'm fine with the franchise tag being put on A-Rob. But the question to me is, now that you have Allen Robinson, you're coming back with a lineup of A-Rob. You've got Darnell Mooney. You've got Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet. Let's throw Anthony Miller in the mix as well. Let's just hopefully not throw in Javon Wims. We can do without that. What's next? Because at the end of the day, the guy that's throwing him the football, whether we like it or not in 2020, right now, Bears fans, is Nick Foles. Everything else is a long shot. And you also have to think about the fact that you just released a player trying to get yourself in a good cap situation because the salary cap is supposed to drop to about, they're estimating a minimum of 180 mil. If it's anything higher than that, it's a blessing. If not, if it's going to be, they're estimating that the floor is going to be about 180 mil. So that's probably how they're working things out in their mind. But you just released a player in Bobby Massey to try and get yourself under that cap, who is a starting lineman on your offensive line. I had to laugh at the word starting there. Is a starting lineman on your offensive line. He's somebody who stood in there for majority of the snaps. Let's say it that way. On your offensive line, and you still haven't solidified that position yet. So while I'm happy that A-Rob's still a Bear, I get to see him for one more season, probably catch for 1,000 yards with Nick Foles standing back there at quarterback. What's next? How are you going to fix that situation? At a minimum, going into this season, you need to fix your offensive line situation. And if you don't fix your quarterback situation, I guarantee you will fail 210% if you don't fix the situation you've got going on at your offensive line. Now, maybe in their world, they're thinking, listen, we got Cody Whitehair back healthy. We're going to get James Daniel back healthy. We found some good play in some of our young guys from last year going down the stretch. I think that the line did play better down the stretch towards the end of the season. They were playing more subpar teams that were kind of out of it already, but they did play better down the stretch going toward the end of the season. And if you're adding James Daniel back into that, maybe this is how their mindset is working, right? If we add James Daniel back into that, our offensive line is improving, like Russell Wilson might have said. And I say might have said because we get all these reports and all of a sudden it's just like, no, I said none of that. I don't know what you're saying anymore. So, but it is improving according to Russell Wilson and of course the brass at the Bears camp. And so maybe you're able to plug in a piece in the draft. Maybe you're able to find somebody, a tackle at 20. But here's the thing. You're still going to war with Nick Foles at your quarterback, and you're going to war with a defense that regressed quite a bit last season. Now, I like the addition of Sean Desai. I think that a lot of the players like the addition of Sean Desai, which is really why I'm in on the addition of Sean Desai. But at the end of the day, they've still got to play better. You were going out to war with a defense that was very, in the beginning, bend but don't break, but by the end of the season was just breaking. But I'll say this about it. When I look at the moves that the Bears have made, you think about the people they've released, you think about what they're trying to accomplish by keeping A-Rob, and I'll tell you one big name for me, the fact that Jimmy Graham is still on this roster. Even though he had 8 touchdowns last season, but the fact that Jimmy Graham is still on this roster to me tells me that the Bears are looking to swing for the fences, and if it doesn't work, they've accepted their fate. Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know you guys' opinion. What do you think the next move is for the Chicago Bears? What is the most important move that the Bears need to make? I'll be down there talking with you in the comments as well. Like I said, to me, this is a swing for the fences or strikeout mentality that the Bears are going with. We're going to get A-Rob back in here. We're going to keep Jimmy Graham around. We're going after Russell Wilson, bar none. We will take on whatever money it's going to take. We will give up whatever picks we have to give up as long as Deshaun Watson doesn't become available and we can be in that sweepstakes. But you think about the 4 teams essentially pulling out of the quarterback race today and yesterday with the news about Dak Prescott and Drew Brees coming back down in New Orleans. which I'm not sure if that's even confirmed or denied yet, but I keep hearing that Drew is coming back, that he's a heavy favorite to return. And then what, essentially you're just competing against Oakland at this point. Or I'm sorry, whoa, take me back. You're competing against Vegas at this point. The Bears are putting themselves in a position that at a minimum, you can include Allen Robinson in a trade to the Seattle Seahawks. Because they have his rights now. Now that they put the franchise tag on him, as the season progresses, you can include him in whatever trades you want. I don't think that that's the move for you. I think especially if you're going to get Russell Wilson in here, that's probably not the move you want to make. But you can include him in your trade talks moving forward, especially if you're looking to acquire picks before the draft. If you're looking to acquire Russell Wilson, that could be something that they ask for back. Which, dang, Joe, could you imagine DK, Tyler Lockett, and Allen Robinson? Ugh, that's a nasty lineup. You could go get boy that was quarterbacking, the wide receiver that was quarterbacking in Denver this year, and he could have a good game with that offense. But again, this is one of those moves to me where you're all in or nothing, and it seems like they're leaning heavily on the if this doesn't work, we all know it's over. If this doesn't work, we all know it's over. Now, for this to work, you're going to have to give up a lot of key pieces on the defensive end. But if you're able to get a quarterback in there offensively, I'm fine with you making that move. And if you can get the deal done and you giving up a couple of those pieces on the other end, say it's a Eddie Jackson or Khalil Mack, something like that, you're clearing up that cap space, but you're keeping a weapon that Russell Wilson and or Deshaun Watson is able to put the ball in the air to. Now, if I was going to pick an importance on which one you definitely should look at more, of course, go after the quarterback. But to me, the quarterback is a pipe dream. And if you don't think the quarterback is a pipe dream, I'm not sure what kind of pipe you're using. Don't look at the fact that the Bears have gone all in, the fact that they've kept Allen Robinson, the fact that they've kept Jimmy Graham, who's real tight with Russell Wilson. That's why I keep bringing his name up, and lose sight of the fact that Russell Wilson has still not asked for a trade from the Seattle Seahawks yet. Or the fact that if you're bringing him in here, there's still not an offensive line to stand in front of him. So if I was going to gauge importance, of course, Russell Wilson, if there's a chance to get him in here, or Deshaun Watson, if there's a chance to get him in here, that is the most important thing that you could look at. But look at something that realistically could help your team. Look at how you're going to build your team with the thought process that Nick Foles is still standing behind center at quarterback for you over there. How are you going to improve this offensive line? This is a year that if you're going to improve your offensive line, there could be a lot of pieces available, especially with this dropping cap. There's a lot of people that aren't going to want to put big money on certain players out there, and we might see more players released than normal at any point in this league. So even if there is the opportunity to go get Russell Wilson and or Deshaun Watson, the thing that Ryan Pace needs to be focusing on most is watching these teams for these offensive linemen that could possibly become available and seeing if you can solidify at least one of your tackle positions. If you can solidify one of them, I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I think about this offensive line. You think you have at least two pieces in Cody Whitehair and James Daniels, if not three. I believe that they liked a little bit of what they saw from Arlington Hambright, and then of course I think that coming on late they liked what they saw from Mustipher as well. So possibly you've got three key pieces there. So you got to get your tackles together. Can you go out and find a tackle that can stand in there and stand in there consistently and protect whatever quarterback you have standing back there? Because while I don't think Nick Foles is a world beater and I think he's going to take us to the promised land, I think that Nick Foles is a better quarterback than we saw last season if he can stand up for more than 2 seconds. And before everybody's like, oh, he's just saying that, he's saying Foles over Trubisky. No, I think that a lot of the Bears quarterbacks that we've seen in their history are better quarterbacks if they can stand up for more than 2 seconds. Go check out that video on what the biggest Bears problem is in their history on why they can't find a quarterback. But at the end of the day, you're making all these moves, and it seems very heavy that you're making these moves to convince Russell Wilson, hey, don't you want to get out of Seattle? Don't you want to leave DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? And don't you want to get away from that top scoring offense that you broke a franchise record in touchdowns with, and you had receivers who broke the yardage records? And don't you want to work with this new offensive mind in there that could be one of the best that the NFL has ever seen and come here with Matt Nagy? Wow, that does not sound convincing when I say all of that out loud. But they're pushing all their chips in to try and get that done. If that is the move, if that is the move, don't forget about the offensive line. Don't forget about what is most important, because if you bring Russell Wilson here, can he still put up those yards like he did last season, especially when he's running for his life? Absolutely he can, but you don't want your quarterback running for his life. And so to me, what needs to be next for the Chicago Bears is you got to figure out what you can do with this offensive line moving forward to get it fixed. And if you happen to find a way to get Russell Wilson and or Deshaun Watson in the building, make that move too. Now listen, that's asking a lot. It's asking a whole lot, and I understand it. I don't expect either move to be made, but let's see if Ryan Pace, swinging for the fences like he did with Khalil Mack, can get it done again. But as always, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. What do you believe should be next for the Chicago Bears? I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, it is your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. To continue watching our Bears content, click the links here or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.